Welcome back to the channel. As some of you may know, my name's Dominic. I'm CEO and independent financial advisor here at Cameron James. I've been in the UK pension transfer industry for over 10 years. The topic we're going to be discussing today is, should I transfer my final salary pension? So this is a question I hear an awful lot from my clients when they first start speaking with me. If you found this video, you've already probably done quite a bit of research already and you understand what a final salary pension transfer is. If you don't understand what it is, feel free to click the link above to go to our final salary pension transfer explainer video. So, should you transfer your final salary pension? This question really comes down to a lot of number of factors, and it's very important to say from the beginning that each client's situation is different and no client is the same. So, the background to the situation. As you'll be aware, you worked in the UK, you built up your final salary scheme or schemes with your former UK pensions. They've now become of considerable value, most likely. You have the decision. Do you transfer it and take your cash equivalent transfer value, or do you maintain the pension pot in the UK and receive the annuity that you will receive from your normal retirement age of 60 or 65 in the UK? So let's talk about why you would keep the pension and not transfer it. First of all, that annuity is guaranteed. This means that from 65, you'll have your £15,000, for example, paid to you on the 1st of January or 1st of July, whatever the date is with your scheme, for the rest of your life each year. A lot of clients enjoy this. They think, okay, I know exactly how much money I'm going to get for my pension pot, done deal, I don't need to worry anymore. So that's another key advantage of maintaining it. One of the other advantages is your espousal or spouse pension. Once you reach your normal retirement age, say 65, that £15,000, if anything were to happen to you, your UK scheme will in most instances legally pay your spouse or partner 50% of that pension pot, so £7,500 for the remainder of her retirement or life in the event of your death. So that's some of the advantages of why you might keep the scheme. Other ones which are perhaps a bit more emotional, clients just feel like, well, why fix it if it's not broke? I've had it there for 10, 20 years. Nothing's ever gone wrong with it. I haven't lost any money. It feels safe. Why don't I just keep it there? It's not really a financial point, but it's a psychological point for clients, which is very understandable. Then we have to look at the other side of the coin as to why someone might want to complete a pension transfer. Well, first of all, there's a really big topic which has happened right now. Even if you've been living in a cave for the past 15 years, you will know that we had a financial crisis in 2008, 2009. Again, we've just been through another financial crisis, pandemic, whatever you want to call it this time. What this has meant is that governments globally have kept interest rates extremely low. Anyone who's been doing a lot of reading on the final salary already will understand your cash equivalent transfer value, or your transfer value of your final salary scheme, is linked very closely to gilt rates and interest rates. So where we are at the moment, in an artificially low interest rate environment, whether we should still have low interest rates with the S&P having just broken records and increasing every day is another question. But what it means is it's one of the key factors which the UK schemes use to work out your cash equivalent transfer value. So effectively, there has been no better time period over the course of the past 10, 15, 20 years to obtain a cash equivalent transfer value, because at the moment they're very high. This is one of the reasons that pushes a lot of clients. It comes down to your multiple. Generally speaking, in the industry, we won't even consider advising someone on a pension transfer if the multiple is below 25 times. If the multiple is above 30 or 33 times, we would normally say, yeah, let's continue with the advice process. Just to caveat that out, and I could maybe do another video on this, the multiple value means, say they're offering you £10,000 per annum, or £15,000, the example I gave earlier. If you times that by 30 or 33, that would give you your cash equivalent transfer value. So you can start to understand, roughly speaking, what the cash equivalent transfer value they've given you, or the annuity that they'll be offering you. Now, unfortunately, unless you're 65 or very close to your normal retirement age, this calculation is very difficult to work out, and it's one of the things that takes us a huge amount of time to complete as part of your report, which I'll be moving on to in a moment. We have to work out, okay, you're now 52 or you're now 57. What pension were they offering you now, and what would it end up being at retirement? Quite a complicated calculation, and not one I'm going to go into right here. So that's a key reason to transfer. Other reasons include beneficiaries. So as we've already mentioned before, you have the option with your final salary scheme, 50% will pass to your spouse or partner from the annual pension, whatever happens during retirement. However, if you were to transfer it into an international SIPP or even possibly a QROP, if it's suitable for you, you get to pass 100% of the pension pot onto your named beneficiaries. Again, very important to note here, your named beneficiaries. You get to decide who your beneficiaries are. You get to write with your own hand who you would like the money to go to. Typically speaking, most of my clients make the husband or wife 100% beneficiary for them to work out what they should do for the children or the grandchildren after that. Some other clients maybe do 50% spouse and then equally divided between the children. Again, it's completely up to yourself. Even if you want to leave the money to charity, you could do that if you wish to. You have complete control over this, and it's also not set in stone. So say you have a falling out with someone in your family, or you have a breakup, or whatever it might be, you might well decide that you want to change who your beneficiaries are of your private pension scheme. For most people, this is a significant benefit. If you have a pension pot that's worth $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, every day when you're walking down the street, there's the potential likelihood, although it's unlikely, normal life expectancy, you should reach into your 80s, 90s, possibly even your hundreds with what's happening with medicine right now, but something could happen to you, and it means that your spouse or partner would only have 50%. Take, for example, someone who's divorced. If you're divorced, you can't pass it on to anyone. Some pension schemes may allow certain areas where it can pass on to your children if there's no spouse, but it's not guaranteed, and it's always at the discretion of the pension trustee holders. Now, that's not a very nice situation for your children, them having to try to claim money from a pension scheme that they don't quite understand where it is or what it is. It's very confusing. We would always advise clients that if a pension transfer is suitable for you, it's beneficial because you can pass the money onto your beneficiaries. One of the other key major points for clients, particularly people in the US or Europe, is your currency of your pension in the UK is GBP. It has been GBP and it will remain in GBP. They will pay you out in GBP. The reason for this is 99% of their pension holders live in the UK. You are niche to some extent. You live in the US, you live in Europe, you live further afield. If you're in the US, your retirement needs are likely going to be in US dollars, yet you're going to have GBP from your UK pension. Obviously, this creates a currency risk. What happens if we go through another Brexit and USD goes down to 1.3 or 1.27 compared to where it was previously? So by transferring into another scheme, a SIPP or a QROP, you can basically have full freedom over how and what currency you want to be invested in. For example, just last week I had a client in New York. He was saying that he wanted to do 50% GBP and 50% US dollar, effectively meaning that once he reaches his retirement, he could start drawing down on the 50% in US dollars. If and when he's drawn that down, he could then maybe convert the other 50% in GBP over to US dollars. But again, it's completely down to yourself. And also, if you really want to try to start getting smart about things, we can have conversations and say, actually, look at where currency is now. I think it's a good time to move over to USD or Euro or whatever your currency of choice is. So again, that's another reason. So how do you solve this problem? And should you transfer your final salary pension? Well, the number one thing you need to do is to always talk to a pension transfer specialist. If you read your paperwork, a 45-page document from a UK scheme, you will not be able to tell whether you should transfer your pension. Are you getting a good deal, a bad deal, or an average deal? That's why you come and work with a professional such as ourselves at Cameron James. Things that you should always be looking out for in terms of this is to check, is the person you're working with highly regulated? Are they qualified to give this advice? Are they highly regarded in the industry? Do they have any client testimonials? Can you check their reviews, such as Google reviews? This is really important. Before you engage with someone, make sure you've ticked off these boxes and you've done your homework before you start sharing your financial information with someone, or worse yet, allowing them to help you make a decision which might not be in your best interest. So in the description below, you'll find a link to all of the resources I've mentioned today, the videos and the links to our website, and you'll also find listed off all the due diligence I've mentioned. So for example, we work with the Financial Times at Cameron James, offering pension transfer advice, and our commentary on their articles. Now, this is quite a difficult thing that we managed to obtain with the Financial Times, and it just allows our clients to understand that we are highly regarded in the industry. So whether you choose us or whether you work with another financial advisory firm, please be safe with your final salary pension transfer and make you do your homework. Also, I would advise you to include your spouse or partner in this decision. Ultimately, they may well need to sign some of the documentation to understand that you are transferring your pension. So I hope you've enjoyed the video today, and feel free to subscribe for more videos. And also, as mentioned in the description, you can reach out to me via the website, you can book into my Calendly, or just drop me a WhatsApp if you want to continue the conversation about your own Pacific pension. Okay, thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.